Hey.
Are we on? I don't know. Are we on? Okay. Hey, I'm Charlotte, Charlotte's a Natural, and welcome to Second Saturday. Just like normal, I just ran in late. You guys have been sitting here chatter, and I'm going, hello. So, nothing has changed except that you are sitting at home. Are there 1, 2, 3 of you? I don't know. We're watching the count. We've got a few people there. Yay, hello. So, welcome to Second Saturday. It is still July, and we are still playing it safe. I just didn't feel comfortable filling the room with all of you, my best friends, so I didn't want to put anybody at risk that we didn't need to. So we're going to do it this way again, and I am just going to try to do this not too fast, but also not take too long doing it. So I really appreciate you joining me. And again, if you are not joining us live, if you're watching this recorded, welcome. I'm glad that you found time to watch this. So I have some notes because I am feeling the pressure of a lot of different projects going because I'm overstimulated. We have so much great new stuff is coming. So I really would love to have you be able to come in the store, and we're featuring it. If you watched my Wisdom Wednesday this past week, I didn't think it was going to be that big a deal, but several people said, wow, I never thought of using Roxanne's glue that way. So I'm glad that somebody asked me to mention how I did some of that. So anyway, we have, let me check my notes. We have another, oh, I know, Wisdom Wednesday was on nesting seam allowances, so I didn't tell you that. So if you have a chance to check the YouTube videos, that one is up there new too. We have, I don't remember, how long, did I do the hats last month, or did I do the hats in a Wisdom Wednesday between June and July? So this is my new thing, and if you're on Facebook very much, you might have caught Kirsten. I haven't seen it, but she suggested that I might have a problem with hats now. I just really love making them. They're so much fun. I like making a mask. Hey, this is Shop Hop preview. The t-shirts are for sale. We have sold all but our large size. And all of the shops, there are 10 shops this year in Central Kansas doing the Central Kansas Quilt Shop Hop. The Shop Hop itself is in October, but right now the t-shirts are very summery and they are for sale. And all of the shops have them. And you know, the history of our t-shirt sales is that all shops don't always sell out before Shop Hop. So it just happens that maybe I didn't buy deep enough into the sizes, but you can find them at other shops. If we have large, and you are a large, which is about what I wear, I think. Yeah, I either have a medium or a large on, not sure. Anyway, so this is also the fabric, the exclusive fabric, and I have made a mask. And that is the bright sunflower that is going to be used in all of the quilts that the 10 shops are making. We'll have blocks for sale. If you're not familiar with the concept of a shop hop, if you're that new of a quilter, which welcome, we love having new quilters join us. This is something that we have been doing every year for, boy, I think it's 20 some years now. So there is a website on Central Kansas Quilt Shop Hop. If you just Google that, there's a Facebook page. Facebook page also has a link to, there is a contest going right now that is show us your past finished shop hop quilts. So this is kind of an incentive, and we had originally set the deadline earlier, but we've extended it through July. And when your quilts are showing up there, there's a voting process. Viewers will vote on it, and the top 3 are going to win the blocks from each shop of the 10 shops this year. So that's a nice little package. I'm not sure what the block kits are selling for this year, but let's say they were selling for $8 a piece. That would be an $80 prize. So that would be kind of fun. Anyway, so that link is there on Facebook for sure. What else am I thinking about for Shop Hop? I think that's enough on Shop Hop right now. So we have, I did these hats. This is another, this was a download pattern that is available at elbatextiles.com, AU. Again, if you search bucket hat you are going to find a lot of tutorials and videos, and you may find that one online. But we have also brought in, this is a cute little hat, a new pattern that we're carrying. It's called Sun-Kissed, and that has a little shape in the back, a little vent hole. My bucket hat is kind of all the way around. Let's see, how am I modeling? Can I model my bucket hat for now? Okay, great, got my bucket hat on. So this is a cute hat, and this comes in sizes small to extra large. Infants through adults, all in one pattern for $13. Then this one is actually a cute little, it's called pork pie pizzazz hat, and this is for wool, felt, or linen, and it comes small to extra large, and that is kind of a neat little pattern too. That one is $8.50. I haven't even opened it to look at it, it's that new. We got in a whole assortment of new Villa Rosa postcard patterns. I can't find them. So anyway, know that we have at least 6 new styles in here that we just got in, and those will be fun to look at. This, I did see this. This is Doug Lico's new Table-tastic book, 20 patterns for table runners and toppers. Each project in 2 colorways, great for pre-cuts and scraps. I'm reading the back of the book. It's a $24 book. It's spiral bound. It'll sit flat on the table, real nice. You know, if you are going to do, I see there's a lot online about staycations, and one of the things that I always do on vacation is, like, usually because I'm flying or we're going to spend time in the car, is I grab magazines. So just wanted to know that part of your staycation, sitting on your deck, your new deck, I hear builders are building decks off houses like crazy. Anyway, we do have the latest Mary Jane Farm magazine. Also, we still have, this is the June, July, we also have August, September on hand. And if you want to really tease yourself, look at that recipe for a grilled cheese sandwich. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so hey, here's one of, I think this is one of the new ones, garden salad. What a segue, huh? Grilled cheese, garden salad, new quilt pattern. I think that is one of the new Villa Rosas. Is that one of the new ones, Kirsten? We've had that one for a while. Never mind, I don't know where the new ones went. So, anyway, some things. This is actually not new. This is Merry Little Christmas by Moda, and we have this on display in the store. This is so popular from Lella Boutique that Moda has reprinted it again, so that is still available. It's inspired by the Little Tree Christmas line. Here is the new one. If you caught one of our unboxings, you saw this. This is Dear Christmas from Urban Chicks. This is a panel, a deer panel, and it includes a 54 by 90 panel. That could be used for the 54 by 78 of that can be used for a quilt back. And then there are smaller sections on there. There's a 9 by 18 section, a deer head, a smaller deer head, 8 by 13, and a quilt label 9 by 7. So there's a lot on that panel. They're getting smarter on how to print the panels. Here's a Merry Little Christmas, very modern, fun. This is a 54 by 65, 36 by 54 by the same designer, American-made quilt sampler panel. This is the life. What a great section. Anyway, that's a 4 printed together, using them for totes. They're putting them on more home deck stuff. It is printed on a cotton canvas, so it's a little bit heavier. So those are some of the new things. We also have, coming up in September, Mary has a new sampler class every year that starts in September, and it runs for 12 months. And this year we're doing Fig Tree and Company, and this is Halloween Fig Sampler. And you could do it in these wonderful All Hallows fabrics. We have kits for this whole quilt, and you could also do it in the class. Or we highly suggest that you pull your own fabrics, and we will help you do that. And so this is a suggestion in a gray and black and white that gives you more of an idea of what you might want to do and not take it so orange, which is very fall. It's not even necessarily Halloween, but it's very fall-like. And I know orange is not the most popular color in our territory. And the reason I know that is because if you don't get my newsletter, you can always find the latest version, a link to it on my front page of my website. But thank you so much to those of you who have been responding to my request to let me know which one of the new Solana sunflower fabric lines that is designed by Robin Pickens. She is a designer for Moda, and she customarily does a large floral print and then designs a fabric line around it. Well, this line is coming out. It's available in October. I'm supposed to be ordering it now, and I can't decide. It's so great looking. Each one is great. So I've been asking people to vote. Blue is the #1 favorite so far. A few people, there's a blue, there's a turquoise, there's a cream, almost white cream background, and then there's the wonderful sort of tangerine background. And so I kind of secretly love that, but it hasn't got so many votes. But you know, I know. It's like I probably would take one of the others in my home too. So anyway, if you have a chance to read my newsletter and respond to that, I'm still taking votes. So if you're an orange lover, call all your friends who are orange lovers. Okay, I think I've covered it all. Anybody come up with anything? Oh, elephant abstractions, right behind me. Violet Craft. This is a wonderful paper piece project. It is one of a series by Violet Craft. There are other patterns in it. If you're interested in that, let us know. I have a great selection. These are using solids. If you hashtag on Instagram, #elephant abstractions, you will see lots of versions of this. And some of the grays coming in and some of this gold for the background. We have that happening. So anyway, which leads me to my daughter is working on this, and I'm not sure if she really is staying home today. She said she needed to, but she is working on an elephant's abstraction. So happy birthday, Lily. Have fun at the pool party when you get there, but he's calling your name. This is done by Mary Young and Cassidy, so thank you, Mary, for lending that to us. So anyway, we will now, you probably know, we're about to do Cindy. If you haven't seen this particular video series before, I'm working on the Filmore quilt, which was a Stitch TV look to a sampler class, to a sampler quilt. And today we are doing this one right here. So this is the block right here. And this is a like modern take on an Ohio star. It is like 2/3 of an Ohio star. So this is actually a 4-patch, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4-patch quilt block. If you made it a 9-patch, if you repeated this row and added the third one up here, you would have a 9-patch. You would have the complete Ohio star. But this is a modern sampler we're working on, so this is a modern take on the Ohio star. So you can see it is squares, very simple, 2 squares, and 2 block units that are quarter square triangles. And it is finished 12 inches, which means each of these units is finished 6 inches. So we're going to cut this square 6.5 inches to finish at 6. So how are we going to cut this? So the pattern tells you to cut it 7.25 inch square. So that is a rule, a math rule. If you have the finished size and you're adding 1/4 inch seam allowances, to cut a quarter square triangle from a square, you add 1.25 inches. So we are doing Cindy today, the block Cindy. Somewhere I have my pattern. And Cindy is the smart aleck in the Brady Bunch. And this whole quilt is based on the Brady Bunch character. So Cindy is the smart aleck who acts like she knows things but doesn't always get everything right. And that's what happened to me. When I last talked about the quarter square triangles in this presentation, I forgot that this pattern was written not my favorite way, which is what I call slop and chop. And they were saying to add 1.5 inches and then cut them and then sew them and then trim them down. So I might have misspoken for a moment, and I hope you went forward because I corrected myself later. But the rule is, when you're cutting quarter square triangles, you're doing 1/4 inch seams, you quarter square triangles, you add 1 1/4 inch to the finished measurement of the unit. So that is how we get to cutting. It's fabric 2, 5, 2 and 5 are cut to 7 1/4 inch squares. When you cut them in half once diagonally, you get half square triangles. So that's a half square triangle unit. When you cut them in half diagonally twice, so corner to corner, corner to corner, you get 1/4 square triangles. And you can see that's what we're going to put together that's what we're going to put together here, 1/4 square triangles together with the backing. There are a lot of variations to do with this, so I just wanted to talk about, so if we're talking about the one we're doing, like the one that I showed you in this one, has the background fabric, and that's how our pattern is written. So it has the background fabric in these positions, but you could change this out. And the way that the pattern is, our pattern is written today, you end up with 4 triangles, but you only use 2 of them, so you have 2 left over. So you could use those 2, and you could make them all the same. And leave that background fabric, or use the fabric that you have that was for the second one and just change the position on that. So again, there's a lot of creativity that can be done with this simple 4-patch block. And I just pulled a couple of photos. I'll just show you those. I pulled a couple of photos that show different ways to do this. So here's the background fabric. Here they've used 3 contrasting and then a 4th one there. Here's my block. Here is again the background fabric, maybe a contrast, and they didn't repeat that anywhere. So it gives a totally different look to the block. I think if I look at my black and white version, this is also kind of confusing here. Okay, so that's if you're doing the black and white one. And don't know exactly what happened to the vintage one. It's not here today. Okay, so any questions on that, you can always comment in the comments here, and we'll catch up with that. Also, if you have, you can email me. My email is charlotte@sonatural.net. Okay, so we have the bias edges to pay attention to when you are sewing that. So once you cut this, all of these edges are biased, so you just want to be very careful when you're sewing those together and not stretch them. That's my only tip for that. But I have another project that I've been working on that kind of made me think of this. This has been sort of my relaxing project at home, no pressure, because nobody really knew I was doing it. Hey, that reminds me, I did get done my bucket bag that I did a video on, my purse. I should have showed that to you. I got that done this month. Anyway, I don't always finish my things because I'm a starter, not a finisher, but I did finish my bag. I'm carrying it, it's very fun. And anyway, this is just a fun project I'm working on. This is a little $5 pattern from Kathy Schmitz, and it starts with layer cakes. So I had a package of layer cakes that I really like, and this is Jen Kingwell's Behind the Scenes. They're all kind of neutrals and grays and all different textures. I'm a true fabraholic from way back. If you know about me, you know I started sewing fashion clothes for myself when I was a little kid, so I like shirtings, I like plaids, I like ginghams, and so this is a whole collection of those in a layer cake, so I love those. Then I wanted to contrast it with something, so that's going to be all my lights and my mediums in this project. And I wanted the darks, so I decided I would just get a constant. So I found a fabric that I like real well, and I bought yardage of that, and now I'm cutting my own 10-inch squares using my cake maker, my Cut-Rite cake maker, which is a nice 10-inch piece of plexiglass that's marked with the markings for doing it 5. And these are in my toolbox. They might be in your toolbox too, because I've talked about this before. Last year we did an entire block of the month using 10-inch, starting with 10-inch layer cakes. And so I suggested you do this. But if you don't own this today, this is our special. So this is 25% off today. And I think it's normally around, it's normally $17.50, but now it's going to be around $13 if you buy that today. And that's only a special for those of you who know about it here from watching this, or if you come in to pick up your block kit today, we will share that with those. But anyway, so that's the special today, 25% off. And so I cut my 10-inch squares of the dark, and then you take one light or medium from the stack and you pair it with the dark, and you sew all the way around the outside edges. So that's kind of the no-brainer. So you're just gonna see if I can get that. So I've sewed all the way around the outside edge, and now I'm gonna cut in half twice diagonally, and that is going to yield, and we'll just come back here, I'll just lay these on here. So I'm going to cut it in half. Twice diagonally. So that's what we did before. That's the same step we did before, only this time I have them sewn together already on the outside edge. So when I open it up, I've created 4 half square triangles. And you can see this pattern is really nothing but half square triangles. So this is just, like I said, this is kind of a relaxing, random project so far. I haven't gotten to laying it out. I'm still just cutting and sewing. It's kind of fun. So after you get them pressed, you have little dog ears like this. And honestly, this is a pretty loose pattern, because it's not like they're getting stitched and they're just all getting sewn together. So if you are sewing well enough and accurately enough, and these are all exactly the same size, you could just start sewing these together. We don't even have to measure them to see what size they are, because this project is just all of those half square triangles made the exact same method, sewn together. But if you can't do that and you want to know what you're doing, you're going to trim these down to 6.5 inches exactly. And then comes out my handy dandy block lock trimmer tool. And this is the tool where there's the groove. There's the groove that rides on the seam allowance, and I think you can maybe see that. Let me try to steady it for you first. So you can see that groove in the tool is right on that seam allowance. So I just center that there, and now with my rotary cutter, I trim around that little bit coming off all the edges, and then it's perfectly square. And that is going to probably make a nicer quilt pack of all of these that are exactly the same size right now. So that is very nice. So we have all kinds of great tools like this that you might not know about, and we are happy to share our knowledge with you one way or another. I hope that it's in the store. We love having you in the store, having you come in and ask questions. If not, keep tabs on us on our Wisdom Wednesday, and we'll just kind of keep trying to keep you informed. So anyway, hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and enjoy the heat, find a friend, and If not, stay home, stay safe if you're in a place where you still can't get out because there are just too many virus bugs floating around. And we hope to see you here in the store soon. And we are encouraging the wearing of masks, but in full transparency, my staff is not wearing their mask 100% of the time. It's very difficult in here, so we've kind of had to make that choice. And until we hear that it's more dangerous than we think it is right now, that's where it is. So if you really need to avoid places where they are not wearing a mask 100% of the time, give us a call. We still will do curbside delivery. We'll still be glad to run down to the back parking lot. So email us, touch base with us on Facebook, or give us a phone call. We'll be happy to help you. So anyway, have a great rest of the week and weekend, and maybe we'll see you or hear from you soon. Thanks.